Hello, this is Marsha Lecour, Marsha's Moments with Men. And today I have a very special guest today with me, Michael Ballard. Michael, it's so great to have you here today. How are you doing?
Great to be here. Well, it's a beautiful summer day, and the weather is very well and good for me here, so can't get much better than that.
Oh, fabulous. So let's jump right in. So, Michael, why don't you tell us about the work that you do and if the work that you're currently involved with actually aligns with your passion and purpose?
Well, I have two things I love to do and I'm passionate about. For some of your viewers, you know that I fought for my life 3 times due to a few rounds with cancer.
Wow.
So that Billy Joel song that if only the good die young, I must have been really bad somewhere and I don't remember. Anyways, I was amazed, astounded, and saddened that there was no programming to help me cope. So there was, at the one hospital, the social worker showed up with a checklist. Do you keep your job, your house? Do you have life insurance, disability insurance? Okay, here's my card. Call me. There's only 2 of us for 487 beds. And I was like, pardon me, I could be dead in 6 weeks and this is it? And then the other person showed up, and God bless him, he was well-intentioned. And I won't go much further than that because then the profanity might come out, because he told me, I've looked at your chart. You've got cancer in many locations. It's spreading and you're going to die. And I said, well, yes, I know for sure that I'm going to die. I had a will made the day I got my diagnosis. What do you have to help me cope? Nothing. And I went, oh, I can do better than nothing. So Resiliency for Life was born out of my serious frustration that we don't give people going through what I call situational things very much help. If you are suicidal, really important. If you have other mental health issues, really important. We have healthcare for it, and it's still broken and disjointed, but it's underway, and we're acknowledging that. But for those of us with situational issues, and later on, and she's good now, my daughter had a brain tumor at 7, and the experts in a world-famous hospital, I said, what programming do you have to help my child or her sister or her parents? Well, nothing. And I went, so you tell me you got everything later, but nothing beforehand. Isn't that like you give a teenager a car, and after they crash and maybe almost die, then you say, oh, time for lessons? They didn't like my attitude. I didn't like theirs, because the research from Harvard Medical School from 1920s and 1960s said that if we practice certain skills, we have a better quality experience, and we can often, not always, but often change the outcome. So being resilient didn't necessarily save my life, but it changed the complete quality of the experience. And I'm proud to say that being resilient meant 1 year I was off sick for 4 months, fighting the fight, and I came in 7th out of 70-odd sales professionals.
Good for you. Wow.
Smarter, not because I was faster, but because I was resilient and I was really engaged with a commitment to my customers to serve. So 20 odd of them out of the 23 I had were really committed. And I had to send several $1,000s back of merchandise because one overcommitted. But it's nice to have people care. So that's what got me started. I've worked with sales teams. I worked with a large technology firm. We did a video for 10,000 staff. So that's why I'm in this deep, because resiliency changes lives.
So tell us about resiliency.
Resiliency is a 2-part process. There's the inside part of our resiliency and the outside resources that we collect and put around ourselves. So for anybody in business, inside resiliency is about how do you choose to define yourself? So when I was in sales, I was a lean, keen consulting machine. I wasn't really a machine, but I like to put in 4 long days so that Friday I only had 4 hours of office time, and I could then be a dad 2.5 days and spare my spouse. Because if I did 5 days a week on the road, traffic's traffic and you're going to get caught in it. So Monday to Thursday, leave early, come home a little late, and beat the traffic and get 5 days of work done in 4. And then Fridays, there's time to be a parent, time for an afternoon nap when you work from home, and really parent like crazy in the weekend so your spouse had time off. And so resiliency, self-definition. If there was a picture of you in a dictionary that only you could see, like Shireen Francis as an example, would she call herself a rainmaker because she likes to help people increase their sales and profits? Inside, I might not be out on the outside, but I'm always working towards calmness for the best possible outcomes. I might not appear calm. I've confused a couple of psychologists because I've had them on my team for projects. And the one guy, you profile way up here and then you behave down here. I said, that difference is parenting. My parents did a good job. And that difference is self-control. So pacing is part of being resilient. When do you speed things up to get things accomplished? And when do you slow down to just sense what's going on? I had a small firm with 20 staff who were stuck. It had 5 people in 4 years to sell, and they hadn't had one appointment with a national or a regional chain. They couldn't get one appointment. So
wow.
I said, well, first of all, you got to know who you're calling on. I said, and I'll make you crazy. Every manager I had in sales management said, you start off so slow, we think we made a mistake to put you in the position. But then 6 weeks to 3 months later, you're like a rocket ship going off at twice the speed we thought was possible. And you made it happen. I said, well, I spent all that time building relationships, engaging, learning the language and the lingo, the lay of the land. There's the formal politics of every company, and then there's the informal politics of any company. And you need to know both. So for the firm that told me, we don't give appointments to suppliers we don't know, I said, okay. I drove around in the back and said to shipping and receiving, oh, I'm half asleep. I went to the wrong side of the building. You don't know the extension number of your VP for purchasing, do you? Oh, sure. Boom. Had an appointment in less than 2 weeks where I dropped off a case of supplies, samples, recipes, research from the University of Guelph. And they went, oh, you've got to be in product development. Uh-huh. Well, that was one of my must-dos for the company accomplished. My job was to get the appointment and let the biologist and the chemistry people move it forward. So resiliency is an inside-out self-definition. There's the research of framing and reframing, identification, over-identification. So sometimes when life whacks us up the side of the head, we can get lost. We can feel topsy-turvy. And when I was fighting my cancer issues, especially the first time, I call it the 3:30 a.m. blues. Man, 9 to 5, 8 to 7 in the day, I was going to win. I wasn't sure how, but supposed to live 6 weeks, I was going to make it 7. Make it 60 weeks, I was going to make it 66 months. But 3:30 in the morning, whoa. So that's when reflection time. What is this pain I'm feeling supposed to teach me? Where are the gaps in my personality? Who should I ask forgiveness of? Who should I offer forgiveness to? What homework can I do? Oh, there's many types of healing. Cancer is a physical issue, but if it's genetic and both grandfathers had a type of what I've got, but they had it in their 80s. So what did I do to speed it up? So emotional healing, intellectual healing. There's all these things, all this homework I could do. So resiliency is about awareness. And that 3:30 in the morning, you could say I was over-identifying with what I was going through. So disidentification is the skill of pushing it away and saying, I'm Michael, I have cancer, as opposed to the gentleman I met who would have said, I got cancer, don't even worry about my name, I'm not going to make it. So disidentification, framing and reframing. Framing is, I tease people when I meet them for the first time in public after meeting them on Facebook. So that's what you look like. Oh, I know you. Because the whole person, what's that? I have some swimming pool friends because I live in a 380-unit complex. And I meet these 5-year-olds and 80-year-olds in the pool, and we're all bobbing along. And I love to say to them in August, now, when I see you in the elevator at the mall in a few months, and if I go like this, you'll know I'm trying to figure out where have I met you before. And it's hilarious because some of them go, I've never thought of it that way. I go to the mall and I never see anybody from the pool I know. I said, start thinking of us just as floating heads and you'll actually meet more. So I have a 5-year-old and she's promised me when she sees me in the mall, she's going to say, hello, Michael, because she's 5. She's very tiny for her age, but she's got this massive head of hair. It's gorgeous. There's a lot of 50-year-old women would like her head of hair. I said, so all I'll look as I look out, I'll see this head of hair and think, that could be my swimming partner. Nah. Anyways, so resiliency is about how do you define yourself, disidentification versus over-identification, framing, reframing, and there's a host of them. But then the outside skills, who do you allow to influence you? I'm really big at looking at influencers. I recently posted in Facebook about my neighbor that passed, Marion Dijon. Marion was a social activist. She took on a whole country, and with her husband and his work and her work, they took a school that only taught kids of a certain race up to grade 4 and extended it so they could teach the kids of that race to grade 8. And when the government of the day would not allow them to go past that because their type made better staff with grade 4, her and her husband started a political party with their friends and got the old rotten so-and-sos kicked out. And after that was well underway and happening, she came to Ontario because she'd gone to Queen's. And she studied our civil rights freedom charter, and she took it back to her home country where it was installed. That's a life full of meat and meaning and hard work. And she was my neighbor for 19 years, and she just passed. What a dynamo. So part of being resilient is, who do you model yourself after? How do you behave based on their behavior? Her husband, Mr. Edward Dijon, was also remarkable. But part of being resilient is modeling. So I'm in the last trimester of life. I hit 60 a little while ago. The odometer's still flicking over for the mileage, but not quite as fast all the time as it used to. So Mr. Burt lived in my hometown when I was a kid. Mr. Burt lived to be 99 and change. Up till he was 97, almost 98, he had close to exceptional, close to perfect health. So in my mind, despite all my surgeries, and I got 70 odd medical clips and stuff, I wish to be healthy, active, productive, playful until I'm 99 and change. And then maybe a walker till I'm 103. We'll see. I got a few hurdles, but I refuse to surrender. So I have a medical team. I have a supplemental medical health team. I take advice. I don't always practice it. Sometimes supplemental medicine and conventional Western medicine disagree. Sometimes I do what these guys say. Sometimes I do what these guys and gals say. Sometimes I surprise both of them, and I let them both know I think you both. And there's always a price. There's always an investment, but you do it. So that's resiliency for me, and it's exciting. I love it.
Now do you think you're aligned with your passion and purpose?
I do. I have got to help people that were terribly stuck. I work with a woman in New Zealand, for example, and with traditional psychotherapy, still was stuck in her bedroom with agoraphobia after 18 months. So I always told her, I'm not a therapist. I'm not licensed or registered. I'm not a coach. I'm a tour guide. I'm going to take you into the land of resiliency, and I'm going to present you with a menu of ideas. And I want you to read off the menu and take one a day in and practice. And of course, we now know agoraphobia is the fear of catastrophic anxiety attacks in public. Well, this is a smart, cute, attempting to be very respectful, very charming lady. I mean, she's got cute nailed. So she could be the center of attention, but for all the reasons that it happens in life, she found herself with agoraphobia. In 9 weeks, she was back outside. I told her, I'll be polite, but I will be your taskmaster. Here's what I want, 4 times a day. Here's what I want, 4 times a day. Here's what you need to reach out to do, 4 times a day. I'm big on 4s. So I've been able and blessed to help people that were stuck. And I always say, I'm not an expert. I'm a tour guide. I learned it the hard way. But it works for me. I've worked with people who have been sexually assaulted and are stuck. I worked with a gentleman who retired by 31 and was wealthy but lost his way. Because when you have unlimited funds or virtually unlimited funds, there's a lot of people who want to help you entertain yourself. And that excessive entertainment without purpose can really get you lost.
Now that's fantastic. So you're so heart-centered in what you do in terms of helping people with resiliency. Where are you right now on your health journey?
Well,
Go ahead.
Cancer's beat and defeated. It's been 30 years. I had a bowel disease, which increases your risk of cancer because it you shed the cells, the lining of the bowel faster because of the bowel disease. So I, in theory, don't have that bowel disease left, but I get some of the symptoms once or twice a year. So I would suggest, with no medical proof, just trusting my heart, a little psychosomatic memory there. Get really stressed, feel some of the symptoms. And then the family history is diabetic, type 2. So the generation before me, that was a 40 to 50-year-old issue. I managed my weight. I'm within 7 pounds of ideal weight, and I got it at 60. So they tell me that I've done a really good job of managing it for 4 years now. And I will soon be taking an adventure in some foods I've heard about that can help me either reduce my sugar issues or stimulate my pancreas or reduce my insulin resistance, because they're not sure what my issue is. My pancreas is still working. It just takes some small holidays on occasion. And they tell me my blood, I've been to several experts. They say your blood health is just exceptional. So it's an adventure. And mentally, the gift that cancer gave me, because it was a gift, because it's increased my empathy 100-fold, was I started having anxiety attacks. Not major, could still drive the car, but would have to turn the signal on, slow down, put it on 4 ways, take a few breaths, get myself collected, and zoom back out. So that's really helped me understand that when my friends were fighting illness or divorce or death in the family, I now have a deeper appreciation, because I've had those panic attacks. I get the name, there's a special name for them. They're not strokes, they're migraines in the eye. So I get rainbows in my eyes with lightning bolts in them. I'm blessed that there's no pain. As soon as I get one, I practice my breathing, and they go down in intensity and frequency, and then they go away. So my doctor goes, that's not supposed to be able to happen. And I said, Harvard Medical School Mind Body Clinic is not just some little piece of Brazil, research. It's big. So it's exciting to have a sense of some control over what's going on in this. And my personality system and style drives me a certain way. So I tend to push myself a little on occasion, which is a lot of fun to see what can happen.
Now, speaking of health, what
Yes.
are some of the challenges or issues that men face? Now, it can be health related, business related, from your perspective. Tell us about one challenge for men.
Sure. First of all, my disclaimer is I was blessed with a father who spoke out and spoke up. So having said that, though, society tells us, from us born in the 70s, 60s, and 50s, I see a change in the under 30s. Don't talk about it. Suck it up, buttercup. Toughen it up. We can do it. Just push. Take a deep breath and push through it. For little things, 3-stitch cut in your thumb, yeah. But I waited 6 weeks with a very serious abdominal pain, which turned out to be cancer. Not my smoothest move. I was lucky because my doctor said 2 types of cancer, to put it in lay terms: snail cancer and wildfire cancer. If you'd had the wildfire, that could have been the difference between living and dying. You had the slow stuff. So yeah, it was in 4 locations, and you wouldn't have felt anything to the 4th location, but you're real lucky. So I had a good friend who died because he left a diagnosis untreated for 2 years. And he only went for treatment because we threatened him with polite violence. Get your rear end in and get your eye health checked, because if you don't, you're going to have a permanent bruise on your butt, because I'm going to kick it. You've been talking about this for 2 years, 23 months and change. Ophthalmologist on Tuesday, major hospital on Wednesday, world famous eye clinic on Thursday. And within 2 months, they cured his eye cancer. But 2 years later, they found out it had spread and it killed him. 2 years he waited. 2. I'm dumb enough I waited 6 weeks. So I say to your male viewers and the ladies, don't wait. It's not about being a hypochondriac. Go and get it checked out. My friend that died of eye cancer, he got little wiggles in his eyes, floaters, not the little rainbow arches. My eyes have been checked. I'm going actually on Thursday this week for my annual eyeball checkup. And I pay an extra $35 because this ophthalmologist has extra gear. I only got 2 peepers. I want them in good shape. Got to be 99 before they start to act up. I got 30 more plus years. You know, I've got a lot of miles to go. So I would say that that's the biggest issue I see, is not reaching out to get a diagnosis.
That's powerful.
I've
Now,
live
go ahead.
friends to appointments and they said no. I'll go with you. I'll make notes in the interview. And I've done it for a couple of people because they were that scared. I understand the fear. Anyways.
Now, what is one piece of advice that you have for the male audience?
I tease about being a lean, keen earning machine and learning machine. I am not a machine. I have learned the beauty of planning my day to get up early, work hard, work smart, have lunch, have a nap. I no longer try to power through for 12-hour days. I have found out that less is more. Oh, there is the odd day. I got a day next week where it's going to be up early and come home really late. And by really late, I mean after 9 at night, because I'll be going to be up and out before 6:30 in the morning. That's a long, long day for me. So don't be a machine. Put the good fuel in and play. Have some fun and play. My claim to fame is that one of the 5-year-old pool buddies told her mother last summer when she was 4, Michael's as much fun as Daddy. I think I want to marry him. That's almost an epitaph for a tombstone. Had 4-year-old girls that want to marry him because he was as much fun as their daddy. I like to play when I'm in the pool. I exercise today, and I've made another swimming buddy. She's 4. She's starting JK, but she's in the pool with Grandma. We had swimming races. I swam 8 lengths in the pool before I even realized it, swimming with her. I give her half a length of pool head start because she's only 4, and she actually honestly beats me sometimes. I want to swim a minimum of 18 lengths. That's a quarter K. And 4 days a week, I swim 36 lengths, which is more than a half a K. Well, I swam 8 lengths and didn't feel the exercise because we were having fun. We high five when we've done a length. When she beats me, I pretend to cry. Put some joy and happiness in your life and lose the macho. I'm tough. I got robbed by a motorcycle gang as a teenager. I helped them steal $200 of extra stuff because it's hard to hit me if your hands are full. I didn't care. The owner hid under the desk. You're going to hide under the desk and I'm in charge? Knock yourself out. This is my idea of preventing fights. Here, have some stuff. Do you need more taillights for those motorcycles? Here's some taillight bulbs.
So, it worked. It worked.
Well, yeah. So anyway, macho's tough's good, but there's a time and a place. So that costs me a couple of friendships on occasion because some people think that's the only way to be. And God bless them, it doesn't work for me. I'd rather work smart, work hard, be joyful, and be a little silly because I think it's awesome to have 3-year-olds and 99-year-olds as good friends, and they relate thoroughly.
That's a good recipe for joy in life.
It is, and makes life go easier.
Michael, I want to thank you today for being a special guest today on Marsha's Moments with Men. It's been fabulous having you here today. All the best to you.
Thank you very much.